side for the great work that they've done on this legislation. But I'd also like to point out that this is what a democracy is all about, to have an open debate and to give all parties an opportunity to discuss this legislation. We think that there are significant problems with this legislation. We know that groups around the country right now are going through this legislation thoroughly because no one can truthfully say what the impact of this legislation will be, except that we know that it is the most comprehensive, complex bill to address our economy and climate change that's ever been introduced in the United States Congress. There are two parts of this bill, of course. One part deals with the type of fuel and technologies that we must have for transportation purposes and efficiencies. And there's probably less controversy about that, but I must say that it is so minute and it is so micromanaging that it affects commercial hot food cabinets, bottled water dispensers, portable spas, and other things. But the part of this bill that causes great concern among many people is the cap-and-trade proposal that would affect dramatically the way electricity is produced in America. And one part of that has to do with renewable energies, and I know when President Obama was in Europe, he specifically reported and pointed to Spain and the success that they had had using renewable energy, and particularly on the jobs being created. I would like to read from an article in the New York Post. Green jobs based on top-down subsidies are, of course, unsustainable. And that's what this legislation does. It subsidizes green jobs. The Spanish government has recently had to reduce its subsidies to solar by 30%. The green industry is now in retreat, and green jobs, too, are being lost by the tens of thousands. They go on to say also that the money spent for subsidies in Spain, if that money had been spent for traditional industries and technology, they would have produced 2.2 jobs for every one job produced by the subsidies. And as a result of those subsidies and the mandates for renewable in Spain, they have in excess of a 17% unemployment rate. And at a time when our economy is weak, and no one can say with certainty, except to say that we know this bill is going to be particularly expensive, we jeopardize our global competitiveness in the world, and we are very much concerned about the loss of jobs that will be the result of passing H.R. 2454.
Thank you, Mr. Whitfield. Mr.